All right, Bears fans, welcome back. Bear down. Hope you guys have had a great Friday, and we're hitting into the weekend, the last weekend before free agency. So we're T-minus less than 3 days away from free agency. It is upon us. All right, first matter of business, it does look like the Bears have re-signed Patrick Scales to a one-year deal. And if you look on SportTrack, there's a corresponding move that both Cameron Lyons and Roy Mbietica, the international exemption from last year, looks like they've both been cut. I don't have official on that. And I've got to clarify very clearly, I'm learning on this channel, what I need to do is official stuff and speculation stuff. So it looks like Cameron Lyons is gone, which means they are running it back with Patrick Scales for at least one more year. The old man has retained his job, and he's got job security. League minimum contract, which is a $1.21 million deal. Not a huge news situation, so we won't make its own video on that, but it is worth noting nonetheless. But the big news today is all the details about the Jaylon Johnson contract are coming out. And I will let you know right off the bat, my video this morning is speculation on what Ryan Poles would be doing. It doesn't mean that I am an insider. It doesn't mean I know everything, guys. This channel is based off of what we see, the analytics of things, and my speculation. I will let you know when something is breaking news. All right, so right off the bat, a couple things came out this morning, and I like Courtney Cronin's details of it, and if you look on SportTrack now, you'll see all the details of it, but it is it's backloaded, so it's front healthy this year to help us sign some bigger names, or to sign more names if we're going to go a different route. So what this tells us is Ryan Poles hasn't tipped his hand, so spoiler alert, Adam can admit it didn't tip Ryan Poles' hand the way he structured this. What it does show is Ryan Poles is a freaking genius with a meticulous plan for what he's trying to accomplish. Here is the official SportTrack, so you can see it has $20 million worth of signing bonuses, and it's backloaded so the base salary makes it so the cap hit hits later. So just to be clear, you guys, so you understand, when a signing bonus happens, that doesn't take the money away from the salary cap. So a lot of people have asked that question, how does that affect the salary cap? Can they avoid salary cap by having a signing bonus? No, the signing bonus makes it so that you can structure it differently to have the salary cap hit in different years. And on this one, if you look right over towards the middle, right under where it says cap details 13.425 this year, that means we're backloading this contract so we can do something big this year, a big splash. All right, so 13.5 this year, 21.5 next year, 20.5 the year after, 20.5 the year after that. Keep in mind, the real reason Ryan Poles would do this is a slide from a different video I did. 2024 anticipated salary cap is 242.5. 2025 anticipated salary cap is $282 million. So we're going to have a big bump next year. They're already anticipating that with, you can call it what you want, TV deals. Gambling is starting to understand more about where this money comes from, but salary cap is on the rise. All right, so the Bears want to accomplish things this year. They also want to sign Jaylon Johnson long term. So what was the real deal of this? Well, the real deal is Ryan Poles is a master of contracts, and he has a master plan for what he's doing. So was I right? No, he did not tip his hand. Secret's out. Ryan Poles knows more than you or I or anybody else. What it's doing, though, is it's stacking value to this year to extract big run for this year and sign some names, get everything accomplished he wants so we can make a playoff run. He doesn't want mediocrity. He doesn't want to be set back. So with that, let's go back to the ongoing long-term debate discussion. And secret's out, guys. I don't know what's going to happen between Justin Fields and Caleb Williams. I will stick by everything I said, that everything, the tea leaves, everything points to, if you take away the talking heads that don't know any more than me or anybody else out there, the fact is the Bears are not trying to go back in their rebuild. And everything that Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren has said about Justin Fields is true and accurate. They really do believe in this kid. So here's our stuff we brought up from both of them side by side from their pre-draft work and everything that was analyzed from NFL Draft Buzz. And after the Jaylon Johnson restructure, does it tell me that we are going to take Caleb Williams? No, it tells me we're trying to go big. It tells me we're trying to go big this year. That doesn't mean a rookie contract. That doesn't mean we're going with a rookie that's going to set us back. We're not going to go with the JV version of Justin Fields just to have regression and have to have him go through his learning curve. If we're going to go sign some big names, We're going to sign some big names to make a run for this year. So what's my realistic odds that we're going to take Caleb Williams? I'm going to set it at 3.14%, because then when the pick is traded, when the number one pick is traded, and when it happens on 3/14, guys, I keep saying, I have so many people on Twitter saying, what happened to T-minus 10 days, T-minus 8 days? If you look at my comments, if you actually look at them, I'm making fun of those saying Justin Fields is going to be traded today, tomorrow. The point of that is he hasn't been traded, has he? He's still here. He's still the Bears quarterback one. So when this happens eventually on 3/14 at the 3.14% of taking Caleb Williams, I know this is a corny joke, but I'm going to be eating my pie, and Justin Fields is going to be eating his pie, and we're going to move forward with all this bull crap. All right? So let's get into the real basis of this, the real meat and potatoes of everything. So here's the Bears salary cap. $57,556,870. If you look on Sport Track, that is actually updated now, not on my little graphic visual here, but on them, they've got $63,930,000, so $64 million. All right, we don't know the details of Ryan Bates yet. On Sport Track, it shows $4 million, but we don't know if that cap is going to go towards the Bills, or we don't know all the contract details there. We will know in the new league year. It hasn't been reported. So it's not official. It's official, but it's not officially official. So I'm saying there's a possibility of another $2.5 million. All right. So speculation, we don't know. No one knows. It's $4 million at this point. Right now it shows $4 million on there. Okay. We might have another $2.5 million coming, which is a good thing. The rookie draft class right now shows about $14 million. Okay. If we trade back from that number 1 and from number 9, it's going to be about 15 plus million. If we trade back again from 2, it'll be about 16 million. So these are just things to hypothesize. These are things for us to take into account. But all in all, it's going to be about 50 million in free agency. And if you see at the top there, that means we're going to be spending about 38 to 42 million more, because Ryan Poles likes to have his little buffer. He likes to have his little room during the season. Am I right on that this year? I don't know. Maybe he has several names that are so big. Maybe he wants Chase Young and Xavier McKinney and Lloyd Cushenberry. None of us know exactly what he's going to do, but we're coming up on that on this next Monday. That's what's exciting right now. It's so exciting to see what's going to happen this next week. That will tip his hand a little bit more than everything we're speculating on right now. So let's go through it. Let's look at a couple of names that are out there as we head into free agency. That was the point of this video I wanted to make, but I do want to clarify how Jaylon Johnson's contract is and what it means for this year. Do I think it means we're taking Caleb Williams? Because I posted a video earlier today showing that it meant we were trading out of number 1 because we have limited cap space. No, that doesn't change the basis of Caleb Williams and Justin Fields. All the other reasons we've talked about with these two men still come into effect. Yeah, it would have meant a lot more for having draft capital to trade out of one with that basis, but that doesn't mean that we're taking Caleb Williams because Ryan Poles structured the contract the way he did. It means he's going after big-name free agents is what it means. All right, so here's what we've established. Here is what we need. Here's what the team needs are. We need at least 5 starters, and we need some depth pieces, possibly 6 starters if the comment he made about a deep tackle class means we're replacing Braxton Jones. But that would push Braxton into the depth, into the swing tackle role, and so we still only need 11. Larry Borom has to go either way. All right, so there's our needs. Let's look at some of the top free agents, and I took the estimated value out because we've focused on that a lot. Ryan Poles is going to make his contracts the way they are. So the estimated value on the right, I left that out, but your tight ends, I don't see him spending more than $5 to $8 million a year on a tight end 2. And it really depends on what he's going to do in the draft. So all these things are going to kind of tip what the draft is going to do. That's a fact. What happens in free agency will tip his hand at the draft. But there's a lot of needs to fill. So here's your tight ends. I put some of the metrics on here. You can pause this if you want. I'm not going to go over every player, but you can see which ones kind of stand out from the rest. Their passer rating when targeted, drop percentage, which is huge to me, and contested catch percentage, which is huge to me. Now, when you look at Colby Parkinson with Seattle, that makes a lot of sense, except he doesn't have a lot of playing experience. It's a limited role that he's had. So are these numbers skewed a little bit? His PFF grade's only 57.4. He's not the best blocking tight end. He is tall. So I don't know. Is it an option for us? We'll see this upcoming Monday. We're going to see what Ryan Poles decides to do. All right, let's go on to centers. Connor Williams obviously has the injury. He won't be available for about half of the season, so that's a big key to this. But we did sign Bates. I don't know what's going to happen there. Ryan Bates from Buffalo, if you guys weren't clear on who I was talking about there. Not really sure what ryanpoles plans to do, but I really like the option of Jackson Powers-Johnson. Obviously, you guys know that's where my stance is. He's legendary already in my head. But let's look at some of these guys. Sack, hit, hurry. This means how often they allow a sack, hit, or hurry. Connor Williams and Lloyd Cushenberry are elite. When you're looking at these numbers, above 40 is elite in the NFL. So if he wants to go with one of these proven guys from the NFL already, I am more than happy with that. I am. I like the prospect of Jackson Powers-Johnson. I'm not stuck on it. We don't have to go that way, but I really see the value in him. But maybe Ryan Poles likes Jared Verse more than Jackson Powers-Johnson and wants to go with Lloyd Cushenberry instead. Maybe he likes Liatu Latu and feels value there and says, okay, we picked up Ryan Bates. Let's get Connor Williams, and he can come in, and Ryan Bates will fill in just good enough until Connor Williams comes back. Because Connor Williams really is special when you look at his pass block and run block grades. Other good centers, I don't really see us going the route of either of these guys. Maybe Tyler Badass, but that's about it. I don't see Evan Brown, Andre James, or Aaron Brewer. Aaron Brewer is really small, guys, and his pass block grade is not great. So here's just some options. That's what I want to present today is options we have on the table as we head into free agency. You can pause this, look at it, kind of formulate your own conclusions. But I want to put some of my stats to it that I really focus on because this is the basis of this channel, and you can see, hey, I really like Lloyd Cushenberry. When you look at that 46.2 sack, hit, hurry, and his pass block efficiency is 98.8, and his pass block grade with PFF is 76.4, and run block is 72.4. Man, he's well balanced. I really like him. I want him, and maybe that's what you guys can take from this. So that's why I wanted to put these stats up there. Let's move on to edge rushers. Here's some of the key ones. I really like the idea of Jonathan Greenard. I don't know if we're going to spend on edge, especially with next year, 2025, being the big edge class. I don't know. And we have DeMarcus Walker, who's played really, really well since Tez came over, the Tez effect, Montez Sweat. Since he came over, he's played a lot better. So, but he's never proven to be a starter role. He's a great rotational guy, but that's how some of these guys on this list are too. Dorrance Armstrong got a lot more role with the actually being on the line on the edge, and he played really well. 8.2, 9.4% missed tackle, which is phenomenal for an edge rusher. They have more missed tackle rate because of where they are on the line. They're not in the middle where it's easier to wrap someone up. Pass rush grade is 70.1, run defensive 58.2. I don't know. These are just options. Chase Young is going to cost, according to everybody, about $15 million for a one-year prove-it deal. Is he worth it for that? Well, that might be a great option because you do that and then you sign a rookie with an extra first-round pick that we pick up from trading down this year, and we have a stacked defensive end class that we can select one next year. Or Jonathan Greenard, really missed tackle percentage 26.7. Don't compare him to Dorrance Armstrong because that's actually a really good rate for defensive ends. Jadeveon Clowney had a phenomenal year, and 21.4 is phenomenal. Pass rush grade, you can see a pass rush grade 75.2 and a run defense 67. I don't know. I don't know what Ryan Poles is going to do, but these guys are going to cost more on that edge position. Edge is one of your more expensive positions. So is he going to do that? We'll just have to wait and see. All right, let's move on to our safeties. And guys, this is why I'm so high on Xavier McKinney. Look right there, his passer rating when targeted, 52.1. You see Geno Stone, 53.1 as well. But then when you look at the missed tackle percentage, 5.7%, that's just crazy. His PFF grade, 87.8. Xavier McKinney really had the perfect year at the perfect time, coming up on a contract that he's going to get a lot of attention. So is he going to cost $12 million or is he going to cost $15 million? I don't think at that 15 he's worth going for on a long-term deal. I don't know. But I love him. I love Xavier McKinney's game. And, yeah, he did play some strong safety, but he played majority free safety. And a lot of these guys have actually played different roles in the backfield. They're not stuck on one position. But everyone who's saying he's a strong safety because they see it listed that way on Sport Track or different sites, he played more free safety than he played strong safety this year. So that's not a set given. But This just gives you an idea of their stats. So passer rating when targeted, which is huge to me at the safety position. And then turnovers is big to me too. Missed tackle percentage is even bigger. Julian Blackmon does have experience with Matt Eberflus, and his passer rating was great. His missed tackle was good. It's not a bad option. It really isn't. So I don't know what he's going to do at this point. Nobody does. But these are showing you the options, showing you what options are out there, and some key people that might be targeted. And then lastly, let's move to wide receiver. I'm not set on us picking up a wide receiver. I do like the idea of double dipping in the draft. If we trade down from 1 to 2 and 2 to 6, pick up those extra draft capital. I really, really like the idea of getting Romo Dunze and Xavier Legette. That, to me, would be phenomenal. But you guys know on here, I am high on Curtis Samuel and that relationship with DJ Moore. I did like the idea of Donovan Peoples-Jones, but when you look at this, you're going to be like, what the heck are you talking about? Well, Donovan Peoples-Jones had a tough situation in Cleveland, and he's shown historically over his career, his numbers are significantly better than last year. So he's more of a 90 passer rating when targeted than a 39.4 that you see in the middle of your screen. His PFF grade is way higher. It's more in the 70s, high 70s even, than what you see on the screen. This last year, he went between two teams, and he had horrible quarterback inconsistencies. So, I'm not stuck on the idea of Donovan Peoples-Jones, but that's a really cheap option if we want to go for a 6'2 guy and then pick up someone in the draft and, even two people in the draft still. So here's some options for us, some guys that are available there. But the big news, that contract is structured in a way we didn't think it was this morning, but favors the money of this year. So when you're looking at free agency, as we go into free agency, the point of this video, the Bears are going to have about $50 million in cap space. When you take away, you have to still take away from those numbers. You've got to take away the rookie draft class. So you still have to consider that. And right now, the Bears is the most expensive, sitting at 14.1. If we make a couple trade downs, that's going to be closer to 15.60, and that's why I put that in here. So we're sitting about $50 million in free agency, which is a crap ton of money. We can get some big name players with that. You can sign Lloyd Cushenberry to $15 million and Chase Young to $15 million. And still go out and get a cheaper and maybe Tony Pollard for $7 million and Xavier McKinney for $12 million. And then you're really thin. You can't get those cheaper deals done. In fact, if you take Patrick Scales 1.21, that goes into it too. And see, we're sitting there. What are the options? Who knows? But this gives you a realistic picture of where we head into free agency after this morning's video, so you can see where we clearly are. We do need to fill about 11 positions. And no, I don't see bargain bin shopping being Ryan Poles' MO this year. If we go tight end, yeah, maybe middle of the pack there. If we go wide receiver, maybe a Nick Westbrook type of situation. Maybe Curtis Samuel. I'm not sure. Free safety, Xavier McKinney, I really like. Will we go after a running back? Not sure at this point. But this gives you a realistic picture. We got about $50 million to work with, 5 draft picks. Those 5 draft picks can easily be turned into 11 draft picks, 10, 9 draft picks, and future, some of those being future, even more. I mean, if we trade from 1 to 2 and 2 to 6 and 9 to 12, we can end up with 10 draft picks this year and 3 additional draft picks for next year that are high-end draft picks. So this gives you a realistic view, very clear picture after this morning's video of where the Bears stand, how we have 5 draft picks, we have $50 million to spend, and 11 positions. So 5 draft picks, if we don't trade out at all and we take those draft picks, we can still get 5 players at $10 million apiece. So it's a really, really good position to be in. And yes, I'm going to hold firm. We are not drafting Caleb Williams, guys. You guys can ridicule me. You can slam me on Twitter. You can do what you want. You can discredit me. That's fine. I agree. I bring the realistic picture of where things are, and I give my opinion too. Am I always going to be right? No. Am I going to come on here and tell you when I got something wrong or when my speculation wasn't 100% spot on? You betcha. I'll come on here and do that. I will tell you, I don't have direct access to Ryan Poles. I don't have his cell number. I don't know exactly what he's doing all the time, but I can tell you after the fact kind of how it twists and translates and what he's going for. And I do see a couple big free agency signings this year. And I still do see trading down from 1 to somewhere, maybe just to 2, maybe to 6, and maybe to 8. And then I would really like, so I'm going to clarify my speculations. I would really like us to trade from 9 to 12 or 13. I have no idea if that's what he's going to do. Maybe he loves someone at 9. That is a blue chip spot for him to pick in. So we'll just have to wait and see what Ryan Poles does. But hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Until next time, please bear down.